On today's episode of Big Time, the podcast brought to you by, as always, BJ's Tavern in beautiful Fort Kent, Maine. We are well into season 2 of Big Time. We've already had several legends on the show, only a couple icons though. And today we add another icon to the Big Time fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, James Harvey on today's episode of Big Time. Man, let's go.
I'm on my way, I'm making it. Big time. Big time. I got to make it show, yeah. Big time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of this incredible show that we call Big Time. Season 2, we've got some pretty awesome guests on season 1. We've had some legends, we've had some Hall of Famers, only a couple icons. I think today we have an icon. I think Lon was an icon, Legs Labby was an icon, our third icon, James Harvey on the podcast. James, go ahead and say hello to everybody real quick.
How you doing?
All right. Now, James, have you even listened to the podcast at all? Do you even know what this is about?
Yes, I have.
Okay, just making sure. So, your name has come up a lot. We've had a bunch of guys wanting to get you on. I think you'd be a great guest, so no pressure.
All right.
We'll see what happens here. So, we got James, Fort Kent native, right? Born and raised.
Yep.
And I think you kind of grew up with some of the guys we've had on the show, so you came up around the same time as Lon Berthium, right?
Yep.
So, what, class of 94?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what was the childhood like in Fort Kent here?
It was a lot of sports.
Yeah.
A lot of sports, as I'm sure you can relate to.
Absolutely.
A lot of basketball, baseball, soccer, anything to escape the cold.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what we did.
Right.
You know.
Did you guys have a pretty athletic group of guys? Or kids?
Yeah, our class was pretty. Athletically, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Real good, yeah.
So, what were some of the things at a young age? What were you playing? I know you're a huge baseball fan, basketball fan. What did you actually play when you were growing up?
I played Little League baseball, and I played basketball in elementary school.
So, actually, I did an episode last time with Jason Netto when we were talking about Little League and just all the team names. So, do you remember who you played for? What was the team you played for in Little League?
Yeah.
Which team was it?
That was, I don't remember the name, but it was coached by Nancy Parody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you guys any good?
For Little League, I guess.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
The thing I always get a kick out about with Little League is usually the biggest guy is the pitcher.
Right.
And he'll put the fear of God in you. Like, who were some of the big kids that were just scary on the mound?
Brent Markey was older than us, but probably one of the best pitchers at that time anyway, in Little League. That's the one that sticks out the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I played short, center. I played short and all the outfield.
Yeah.
But I mainly played scorekeeper.
Where'd you bat in the batting lineup?
Usually towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any memorable games or memorable hits or memorable plays from?
It was for me. It was all memorable. I mean, just the fact that I was out there.
Right.
You know, it was just awesome.
Yeah.
You know. And
you play basketball as well, you said?
Yeah, in elementary school. Yeah.
Did you play rec basketball too, like grades 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like back then?
I was very, very different.
Yeah.
You know, because we were just, the class that I was in, we were just getting there.
Yeah.
So no one really knew what to expect.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew from each other, but no one really knew what was coming up.
Right.
You know, so that was cool.
And at that time frame, that age, were you the type that was going to the high school, watching the high school games?
Oh, yeah. When in the mid-'80s, I want to say. This is how I first started going to the college games.
Okay.
Erica Murphy, who was in my class, her father coached Larry at the college. So she would come to school and tell us when all the games were. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a bunch of us would just pile in the gym at Friday night or whenever it was,
Yeah.
and we'd go to basketball games, and that was pretty cool.
And they had some good teams at that point,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Some of those mid-'80s teams.
Yeah.
Who were some of your favorite players at that point? Because I came up like late 90s, early 2000s, and I got some of my favorite players.
At that time, it was probably like Juan Hernandez,
Yeah.
Jim McCluskey, all those, that group of guys. That was, and even today, like what's his name? Used to call him Whitey.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't picture his first name, but I've heard of Whitey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And John O'Shea.
Yep.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these guys are getting into the Hall of Fame now. Like I think I was there for McCluskey's Hall of Fame induction. I was there for Juan Hernandez, but they were all before my time, so I never got to see them play.
Right.
But heard these guys were pretty incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 And used to get packed houses for those games
Oh, yeah.
back then.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides of the bleachers.
Pretty much. Yeah.
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 Any intense rivalry games you remember going to? Like were the Umpy games pretty good back then?
Umpy, Machias was not as big as Umpy, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So going to the college games. How about the high school? Were you following high school athletics at that point? Did you have any older siblings that were kind of going through high school before you, and you went?
No, not really. Well, I have a sister.
Yeah.
She was before me, but athletically she wasn't.
She wasn't into it.
No, well, not as much anyway.
Right.
But I mean, of course, means not many people that are into it as much as I am. So.
Do you remember seeing any of the teams like from the '80s, like high school teams? Like were you there watching Steve Harrow play or any of those guys?
Steve. I started watching Steve when he was in high school,
Uh-huh.
and he moved up to college
Yeah.
at that time.
Right.
So that was pretty. Of course, Steve thought he was better than he was. But,
Oh. Steve listens to the show, obviously.
Okay.
He's gonna hear that comment.
No nasty phone calls, please.
How about outside of sports growing up in Fort Kent at that time? What were you guys doing for fun? Were you guys going to like we used to go to Jacuzzi Falls and jump in the river or jump off the bridge?
I wasn't that brave.
No.
Yeah, fine line between bravery and stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything fun back then? Anything you guys used to do in the summer times or?
Oh yeah, we always found stuff to do. You grew up in Fort Kent.
Yeah.
When there was nothing to do, you found.
You have to.
You pulled in some kids from the neighborhood and
Yeah.
started a baseball game or basketball or what,
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just made your own fun.
Yeah. So at what point did you stop playing athletics? Did you play it all in middle school as well, or did you stop?
No, I stopped playing Little League in elementary school.
Yeah.
And in basketball, I played 2 years in elementary school, but because of my physical health,
Right.
I was forced to become the scorekeeper,
Right.
which I'm still involved, so that's one avenue to stay.
Right.
So
in middle school, were you the scorekeeper or were you the actual team manager?
I was a scorekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remember your first gig? What was it? What was like the first scorekeeping thing you did? You remember?
Oh, geez. I remember a lot of games, mainly when we were in high school.
Yeah.
But with Lon Bertham on the team, there was no dull moment. Between he and I, we just made our own. Just go.
Yeah.
He says one thing, I say another thing. We just keep feeding off of. So it was fun.
Yeah. And so as being the scorekeeper, you watched a lot of games and you saw a lot of people come through.
Oh yeah.
So when you were in middle school, who were some of the better athletes at that point?
Oh, Lon growing up was the athlete.
Yeah.
Probably still is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyone else that stands out, or was it just all
There
Lon?
was Lon, Corey Thibodeau,
Yeah.
Matt Thibodeau, well, of course, your host, Tom Bard.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And his brother Sam wasn't far behind.
Yeah. You don't want to give Sam too much. Don't give Sam too much love, though. All right. Well,
Yeah. I just threw that in there.
Yeah, just to be nice.
Yeah.
What was the social life in middle school? Were you going to school dances and the whole nine, or were you?
I went to school dances, but I hung out in the corners.
Oh yeah.
For me, it was more of a social thing.
Yeah.
Just so that that was about it. Just.
Were you a troublemaker in school?
Never.
No, you weren't a
Never.
little smart ass.
I've always been a smart ass, But I've often been called the instigator.
Okay.
But I just let it go.
Yeah.
Just push it far enough to let other people just go.
Right.
I'm gonna just ask you a few questions from school here. Who was your favorite teacher, like middle school wise? You have a favorite teacher?
What's up?
Who was your favorite teacher in middle school?
Middle school was. You asked me to go farther than shoot you back.
Yeah.
Probably Louis Morrow.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice.
AKA Little Louis.
Yeah. How about, did you have a least favorite teacher? Did you have a teacher that just always gave you a hard time?
Not really.
It's okay. You can say it now, Harvey. They're not going to give you detention
No,
or anything
no,
like that.
I know.
So,
No, they were pretty. I mean, some were harder than others, but
Yeah.
hey, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So from middle school to high school, at that point you were scorekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, were you still scorekeeper, or were you any manager roles at all? Did you manage
No,
at
I
all?
was keeping score for. I did.
So you did the books?
Yep.
Okay.
For baseball, basketball, and soccer.
So what was your favorite sport to actually cover, or didn't matter? You just like being out there?
Probably basketball.
Yeah.
At that point, just because it was inside and it was warm.
Yeah, exactly. You had a good seat.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
Were you doing the freshman teams, or were you doing all the teams?
I was doing mainly varsity.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they'd ask, if I'd have time, I'd just say, "You need anything?"
Yeah.
You know, type of thing. But it got to the point where I was just so busy. I'd get home at night and it's like
Burnt out?
I was supposed to stay up and do homework, but that didn't always work out. So
Were you the type to be the first one? Were you on the practices too, or just games? Were you
just games.
oh, so you were like Allen Iverson practice?
Practice.
Talk about practice.
Yeah.
Were you the type to get to the games early, or were you strolling in right at tip off? Or
Oh no! I was there early.
Okay.
I had to get my game face on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what was like your routine? How'd you get ready for it?
I had to warm up the pencil. Yeah.
Yeah. So you saw some great teams. I mean,
Yeah.
so you were there when Lon Berthium was there. But that means you also had to deal with a couple different coaches, right? So like basketball in particular, Murph didn't get to the Fort Kent Community High School
Yeah.
to like 90.
Murph was towards the end of my high school.
So who was there before? Was it Lloyd?
Yes.
And
Yes. I got on right at the tip of Lloyd's as he was going out.
were any of the coaches give you a hard time?
No.
No, they were all nice to you.
Yeah. but of course Murph was like, do this, do that, do this. Like okay, whatever, you know. Grab the ball back. It's bigger than I am, but okay. You know.
But you got along with all the coaches and no
Oh, yeah.
problems there.
I still did then and still do today.
Yeah.
You know, just Murph and we differ on football, basketball, and baseball because he's a Giants fan and I am not. And,
Yeah.
But other than that, we
You don't hold it against them.
we get along real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you traveling all the away games and
Most of them, yeah.
you had the same seat back then that you had from my time in college? I remember you having the first seat on the bus whenever you walked in.
No, actually, I sat on a Gatorade bucket so I could see over the seat.
Yeah. Were you a back of the bus kind of guy or front of the bus?
I was probably right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of all the action.
Yeah.
You guys.
So that way I didn't have to walk all the way out.
Right. What were the bus rides like? Because I know, like for us, it was mostly just headphones and not much.
It was fun
Yeah.
because it was a social thing.
Yeah.
But the actual bus ride,
Yeah. Pretty brutal.
it's when you're riding a bus and you hit every crack in the road and you feel it there, especially when you have a bad back.
Yeah. Makes for a long bus
It's
ride.
not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Did you have a particular school you like traveling to the most? Like, because I know, like, as an athlete, like, I love playing, like, in Holton because I love their gym. I like playing in Prescott because of their gym and the crowd.
Yeah.
As a scorekeeper, did you have, like, a particular atmosphere you like to be in, or?
I just like the older school,
Yeah.
you know, the old gyms, you know, that atmosphere type of thing.
Yeah.
I like them all. Don't get me wrong, but the older atmosphere type of thing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I'm guessing, you know, even though you weren't playing, you get fired up for some of the big games. Like when it was time to go to Caribou, like that was a game you were looking forward to. Or time to go to Prescott.
Yeah.
Any games that stick out? Do you have any games that just come to mind, like that was an incredible game to be a part of or that you witnessed?
I really couldn't tell you. I mean, there was so much memorable games to go. You know, it's like that was a good time.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw footage last night of a game from '96 when Ryan Martin hit a buzzer beater in Caribou. Were you at that game? Remember that one?
Probably. I was at most of, if not all of them. So yeah.
Just a lot of classic games.
Yeah.
So you covered a lot of basketball. How about for soccer? So you would have been dealing with Dave Minzy was the coach pretty much the entire time you were in high school, right?
Yeah.
And did scorekeeping for the soccer games as well?
Yeah.
And what was it like being around Coach Minzy? I know like a lot of his former players, they love Minzy to death.
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say anything about Minzy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, just let you do your thing and he'll do his thing. And
did he ever ask you for input? Like if there was
not really.
Was he ever like,
not really. I offered, but that was about it. Yeah.
Were you in the locker rooms like before the game, halftime, stuff like that?
Not often.
Out there in the field?
Not often.
Yeah.
No.
So nowadays our athletes are a little bit spoiled. They got the lights and the nice soccer field and stuff like that. It was different back then, though, right? No lights, so you guys were getting out of school early for games and stuff.
We all our games were pretty much at 4:00.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't remember the year, but eventually Presque Isle was the first team in the county to have lights.
Yeah.
Or the first school, I should say.
Yeah.
So that was huge for us.
Yeah.
To be able to play at 7:00, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was like unheard of.
So probably Presque Isle was first, and then probably Caribou was after that.
No, I think I remember from Caribou or Fort Kent had lights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the same time?
Or in that, yeah.
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 Because I think Caribou's another one of those fields too. Like Caribou's got a great field.
Right.
Presque Isle's a great field. Our field too. I think it's underrated. People don't really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's nice, big and open. Great lights, and great crowd. We've always had great crowds.
Oh yeah, always, always. That's like going to soccer games in Fort Kent or in the county, like being in the Bangor area and watching a football game.
Yeah, that's our Friday night lights.
That was that's just the thing to do.
Yeah. You ever get cold outside with these soccer games? Because sometimes these games get into October, it gets cold out there.
Oh man, I remember going to games, and literally, you could just see my eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so dressed up, and pink and blue, and it's like, I don't care, I'm warm, you're not. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Were you covering the women's teams at all too, or just just following the boys' teams?
Just the boys.
Yeah. Were you going to the girls' games though, and watching the girls' games?
Well,
I'm guessing you went to every game.
I watched them all.
Yeah.
You know.
Who were some of the better female athletes? We haven't had a female on Big Time yet, and I'm getting shit from the listeners. So I'm trying to think of who I can go and get for Big Time, and I think you've pretty much seen everybody.
From our class, it's probably Dawn Sear.
Okay.
Michelle Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Michelle Vassar.
Yeah.
In our class, there was a few good ones, but they were together good.
Yeah.
They all, each had their own, put in their own thing.
Right.
So it's not like you had one person that really stuck out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but no, they were fun to watch.
Yeah. Between basketball and soccer, which games did you prefer to be at in scorekeeping?
Oh, definitely basketball.
Just because it was warmer and a little bit more action and stuff like that?
I like soccer, but it's not high on my priority list to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basketball and baseball were my two big things.
Yeah.
And still are.
Yeah.
You know.
So you see it a lot nowadays, like when there's a little scuffle on the floor on the field and the bench is clear and coaches go up there and try to break stuff up. Did you ever witness any games where you wanted to get out there, Harv, and just break it up? Or
no, because they were all bigger than me.
Yeah.
Fear of safety. Yeah.
So I feel like games were more physical back then. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I would say so. There wasn't any. I'm not going to say they were all out brawls, but they were. There wasn't many rules. You know, I mean, today you can't even walk out there without a mouth guard.
Right.
Without getting go back to the bench and get one, or
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey.
Are you a fan of the safety rules, or are you an old school guy where you're like?
I am, but I think they're getting too carried away with it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
You got to let them play a little bit, right?
it's like if you go out there without a mouth guard, it's like, okay, well, sucks to be you. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
you're gonna learn the hard way, but you're gonna learn. You know?
So, as a basketball player myself, the goal and dream was always to go play at the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do it. You got to travel there, I'm guessing, for a couple games.
Yeah.
To score keep. What was your Bangor Auditorium experience
Oh,
like?
Jesus. For me, just playing going from a gym in northern Maine to going to the Bangor Auditorium was just spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, come tournament time, the whole town follows the team.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in, you look at one side of the gym, and it's like a sea of green.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, I can't put it into words. It's just that it's something you'll never forget.
Right.
You know.
And it's one thing to be in the crowd and watch a game. It's another to actually be on the floor. And
Oh yeah.
Up, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Were you going to games prior to like you being in high school? Would you travel down there if they made the tournament and go watch the games? Or?
Sometimes I would. Yeah.
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 So and just the experience of actually being a part of the team to play in the auditorium, right? So you get to go in the back entrance and they give you your ribbon and all that stuff. You
Right.
get to go to the locker room.
That was just the whole deal of being part of it.
Yeah.
You know, that was very, very special.
Right.
To be a part of.
So you did what one time as a scorekeeper? It would have been your senior year. They made it, right?
Yep.
And that was your one experience.
Yep.
Pretty great though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You've been back there since as a spectator, and you've...
Actually, no, I went. I haven't been back since.
That was it.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you would have been down there every time the team.
I wish, but
Yeah.
just didn't work out, but it was fun.
Is that probably the highlight of your scorekeeping career right there?
Yeah.
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 Baseball. I know you love baseball.
Oh, geez. Baseball. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What was your baseball scorekeeping experience like in high school?
I'm just gonna say, lawn birthing was part of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it was something was said or did that wasn't supposed to be. You know.
Yeah. So you guys had a good relationship and still do to this today, right? You guys are
Oh,
still
yeah.
buddies.
Yep.
Yeah. So were you guys just cracking jokes on each other, or were you guys cracking jokes on other people?
I don't know. Most of the time it was, just ragging on each other. But we could always. It was the type of relationship where one would say something, it just like, yeah, whatever, just, type of thing.
Yeah.
And today, most of us today that hang out, we it's the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys can go months without seeing each other, and then just as soon as you guys see each other, just pick it right back up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So was the baseball experience fun in high school? I know the teams weren't that great as compared to like probably the basketball and soccer teams at that point, and it's a little bit of a different experience. Baseball's a little bit slower, more dragged out.
Right.
But still enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah.
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 What were you doing? Like, I don't even know what a scorekeeper does for baseball.
Keeping the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pitches and at-bats and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah.
Any great baseball stories from those days? I feel like baseball players, it's a different type of camaraderie because you spend so much time together.
We were pretty close knit group of guys.
Yeah.
Just the way it was. And we were close, but just get out there and play, and the way it was.
Yeah. And you're still doing it. Got a baseball doubleheader to get to today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
To have a doubleheader today, have a game Wednesday, and 2 games on next Saturday.
Busy little schedule coming up then.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into our first segment. Still looking for sponsorship. James, if you know anybody who has some money that wants to sponsor this segment, tell them to give me a call here. This segment's called Ethan Asks Big Time Questions. Ethan, what is your question for James?
Another edition of Ethan Asks Big Time Questions. James Harvey. Dude, I feel like I say this on every one of these, but I haven't talked to you in a long time, so I hope you're doing great. I hope you're still loving the life up there in Fort Kent. First question for you. What was it like being at the table at all these basketball games alongside the legend Bill Plord, the one and only Speaker of the House when it came to announcements, starting lineups? I mean, that dude had the system figured out. What was it like sharing the scorer's table with that guy?
First of all, if you consider Bill Plord a legend, I'll let you go with that. But that's all I'm going to say.
Leaving it at that. All right. So I think the first time I actually encountered you was at the college.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you used to hang out.
Yeah.
It used to be like where Ashby's office used to be the work study office. I want to say back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like you used to always hang out in there. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
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 So you graduated from high school, and then did you even attend UMFK, Harvey, or did you just hang out there?
No, I believe it or not, I did go to class.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you go to school for? What was your major?
I started doing computer classes and stuff like that. Yeah. But I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I still don't know what I want to do.
Still trying to figure it out?
Yeah.
Did you wind up graduating and get your degree from UMFK?
No, I never got a degree.
No.
No.
Just hung out, partied a little bit.
I never partied.
Didn't party?
No.
No.
Despite what the rumors are, I never partied.
Yeah. I feel like UMFK back then was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Seems like it was smaller enrollment.
Yeah.
A little bit different than it is now.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who were you hanging out with when you were attending college? Because Mon obviously went to Farmington.
The athletes, obviously.
Yeah, so you got in good with the athletes from day one, right?
Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So who was the AD at that point at the college? It wasn't Grapham yet, right?
No, it was, when I got there, it was Helene Walls-Bouchard.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was having a podcast with, but we were talking about how when I was younger, me and my friends used to go to the...
when I got there, it was Struckbein.
Okay.
And then Helene came in after him.
She used to scare the shit out of me because she was always so mean. She would always yell at us and...
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were her qualifications to be the AD? Like, did she have any or... We don't know.
I don't know.
So you used to hang out. Like, I feel like you were always there just hanging out.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I feel like Wado used to be there. Wade McLaughlin was always there. Mm-hmm. Wade's not from Fort Kent, though, right? We were trying to figure this out last night, me and Jason. Where's Wade
He's from Limestone.
So how do you end up in Fort Kent? Did he just get like a coaching gig here, or?
I think he came to school came here originally to take classes.
Okay.
I think.
And then he wound up coaching the freshman team at the high school.
Yeah.
He was at the college a lot too. So, who was some of your early inner circle at the college? I'm guessing you hung out with Wado.
Oh, Wade, Tim Farah.
Yeah.
Jameson Crowley.
Yeah.
Who else?
The big fella, Eric Warrington, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean, really early on, there was Timmy Crowley and I. We were always together.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember Crowley had a radio show at one point. Did you ever get on Crowley's radio show when they had the UMFK College radio station?
Yeah.
Were you on there at all?
No.
I wish they would have had that when I was there. That would have been a good time.
We used to make sure we were right outside the door, just because at UMFK, the radio station, I don't know about now, but if you went too far away from the station, you couldn't catch it.
Right. It was only like a half-mile radius.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear it. Where was the actual radio?
In what's the name of that dorm?
Powell.
Right there, right off the library.
I think it's Powell.
Yeah.
It was right in there.
Yeah.
I never actually saw the radio station. I remember hearing it.
Yeah.
And I could only hear it like when I was in town and I was at the elementary school.
I think it was a closet at one point.
Yeah.
They just hear just the word.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Pretty cool gig. And then I heard that Jason Bray was playing music he wasn't supposed to or something when they got shut down, and that was it.
Yeah.
What was Crowley's radio show? It was him and Eric, right? Then wasn't it the two of them? They were talking sports.
Yeah.
They were pretty much like Mike and Mike before Mike and
Pretty
Mike.
much, yeah. They were the original Mike and Mike. Yeah.
Were they any good, or you
Yeah,
can be honest. You don't have to be nice.
No, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they just talking local sports or national sports?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything. From high school to college to major league, stuff, national sports.
Yeah. One of the other DJs I remember is the guy named Hawaiian Ryan. You remember Hawaiian Ryan?
Oh yeah.
Talented dancer, great radio DJ. Just there was a lot of good people. Like there was a lot of just great characters.
Yes.
Stuff like that back then.
That's the thing. It was like you said, a lot of good people.
Yeah. I feel like it was like a smaller community in terms of like students and stuff like that, but everyone kind of hung out and there was just a lot of good personalities and stuff like that.
Yeah, everybody would. And of course, coming from a small community like this, everybody knew everybody else,
right.
Whether they were involved in sports or not. It's like everybody knew everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And some good athletes coming through at that time too. So I feel like in the '80s with Murph, they had a great stretch of ball players. In the mid '90s, it kind of came back with Chris Sutton and was it the Arthur twin or Arthur brothers or something like that? They were there.
I can't remember their name, but yeah.
I'll have to take a look at the banner next time I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
1,000-point banner, they're both on there. And then you had guys like Chris Miller, Chris Richardson, right? A couple local guys.
Scotty Richardson.
Scotty Richardson, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pete Martin was playing basketball at one point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get into the mascot? Were you ever the Benny the Bengal? Did you ever do
No.
that?
No.
Mascot wasn't
I could fit in the head by myself.
So when did you start doing scorekeeping for the college? Was that from day one?
I started doing, I do the shot clock at the home games. That was, I want to say 95, 96, just because Ronnie Gee, who did it, was named the interim athletic director.
Oh, really?
And, of course, being the athletic director, he couldn't do both.
Yeah.
So he walked into, I believe, one day I was in Bengal's Lair, actually. And he came in, he said, "Hey, I got a job for you." I was like, "Okay." And that's how I started.
Yeah.
So I do the shot clock at home, and I do the scorebook on the road.
And then at some point, you eventually got the clock duty during practices for Eric, right? You were running the clock.
Actually, I started that when Graf was here.
Okay, so are you as bad as the people say you are when it comes to running the clock in practice? Because I know people like Woogie like to bitch a lot. And
No. The thing is, Eric expects me to do the clock and take notes at the same time.
Yeah.
I am good. Not that good.
Not that
good.
Yeah. So were you traveling back then, back in like in '95 when you started? Were you traveling with the teams?
I started traveling about that time. I did 18 years every game on the road.
Yeah.
Every game.
Covered a lot of miles, right? You guys were all over the place.
I don't even want to think about how many miles we put on that van.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like now, like the college teams will travel to like Kentucky and all these places, Ohio. You guys weren't going that far back then, though, right?
No. But it's like back then it was back then. I mean, it was vans.
Yeah.
It wasn't mini buses or tour buses. That would have been like, wow, this is cool. You know what I mean? Now it's like.
And you could get work study to drive, I think, right? Like some of the athletes would actually drive and get work study out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that no more.
That was interesting.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
So, Grapham comes into the picture, like late '90s, right?
Yeah.
And there's kind of a shift in athletics. I feel like that's when Mallett came in shortly after that, and the soccer program kind of reached new heights.
Yep.
Or who was the coach before Grapham for the basketball team?
Clifford.
After Clifford, the guy who used to play at Machias. He was only there for like 3 or 4 years. Johnson.
Oh, yeah, it's Derek Johnson.
Yeah, so Derek Johnson was the coach for a couple of years, and he was
Yeah.
bringing in all kinds of great talent. And you just see like the shift in athletics. I feel like things just kind of went up a notch.
And when Graf came in, Graf was Derek's assistant for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then Derek left, and Graf took the reins at that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
You had a good relationship with Graf,
Oh,
right?
it's
That's your buddy right there.
Spectacular.
Yeah, still to this day.
I mean, he lives in Missouri, and we still talk. I mean, 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, just.
And same thing when he was around. You were scorekeeper, all this stuff.
Yep.
All kinds of cool things. Like I feel like the webcast. Like they started webcasting games. They had the radio shows going on. Just a good time at UMFK athletics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Any athletes that you really enjoyed? I just want to see like. You had a hard time going back and remember high school, but let's see if you can pick some of your more favorite athletes. Let's say like from when Grafham came on board to now, like who were some of the
well, first of all, I mean, from day one, pretty much everybody was, I want to say buddy, but everybody played their own role.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody enjoyed it.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, one story that sticks out for me is when in 2000 I had neck surgery, but at that time, athletics at UMFK were so much a part of me that I couldn't leave without telling the guys why I was leaving.
Yeah.
And I told them why, and I said, and this was in January, and I said, if at all possible, I will be here for your first home game. Here I am in a wheelchair, in a halo.
Yeah.
I show up at the game. You know, Derek Johnson, who was the men's coach at the time, he's walking across the gym, and he's looking down, and he's shaking his head. I said, DJ, what's going on? He says, what are you doing here? I said, what do you mean? He says, you just had major surgery less than 3 weeks ago. What in the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
I told you. You know, I told you I'd be here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just stuff like that, I mean, it's not part of the game, but for me, personally, that's
how much it meant to you right there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. They better have won. They should have won that game. Then, if you're there making a heroic return in a wheelchair, they better have won that game.
Yeah.
And I feel like too this is kind of like we went through a shift where we started bringing in a lot more like international athletes. So we started getting like the European basketball players and stuff like that. Do you have any good relationships with the foreigners?
Oh yeah.
Because it's a bit of a culture shock for those guys to come here and also learning about their cultures. It's a little bit different. Do you have anyone that kind of sticks out in your mind that you got along with really well?
Well, and I believe we would say the same person, Woogie.
Yeah.
He just happy-go-lucky, do whatever, you know, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I mean, he lives in Bangor now, and we still talk. He comes up and, you know, whatever, just do it, you know.
How about some of the soccer players? You have any good relationships with the soccer players? Because there's been a lot of characters that have come through, like in the soccer program, like Donnie and all these guys. You get along with those guys as well, I'm guessing. They were all nice to you for the most part? Yeah. I got a question for you. At what point did you start announcing goals during the soccer games? Because I feel like that was Cooper's gig for a while, but now like you're the voice of UMFK soccer for goals.
Well, it was me for a long time.
Yeah.
I just fell into that role. Like I was keeping the book.
Yeah.
And they need someone to announce goals. So I can do it. You know, type of thing. But I was never asked to do it. Yeah. Which I didn't mind doing it at all. Yeah. But you know, whatever.
I got a question. How come you always announce it like 2 minutes after they score?
Because I'm busy trying to put the score in the book.
Oh, okay.
You know.
You got responsibilities first. You got scorekeeping is the important thing. Yeah. I've always wondered, like 2 minutes later after the goal, like, and they're back in action. You hear Harvey come on and UMFK goal. Did you model your announcing game after anybody, or is it just just you?
Just me.
Yeah.
Because no one could compete. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's get to round 2 of Ethan Asks Big Time Questions.
So you had the privilege of pretty much being courtside for most of the last 30 years for these basketball games in Fort Kent, whether it's high school, college. What was your favorite squad from Fort Kent High School basketball that came through? Your favorite one to watch? Who was your favorite coach? Who was your favorite player? Just give me a rundown of your tops in each category.
Well, when we were in high school, in 94, 95, something like that, our class, Lon Berthium and all those guys, that was just, to me, it wasn't only basketball. It was having all those guys around, that was, to me, that was special, and it still is, so I guess that's my final answer.
All right, so that's your favorite team. How about your favorite coach?
Probably have to say Jim Graffam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing your favorite player was it Lon? Are we going to say Lon is your favorite player that you like being around and watching and just...
I'm going to have to say with Lon, I didn't see him play much in college.
Yep.
Because he went to UMF.
Yep.
And
Did you cut him off at that point? Like when he said no to UMFK,
I didn't cut him off, but
Okay.
I just kind of...
It hurt, right?
I kept telling him, I said, it'd be nice for you to go to a school that could actually spell, But Lon, he just took that like he normally would, just
Right.
laughed it off. And,
Absolutely.
So
I know you got an extreme love of UMFK athletics, Fort Kent athletics. How about the pro teams? I know you're a diehard Red Sox fan, right? Celtics fan.
Pretty much all New England sports I am a fan of.
That's always been the case, or since day one you've always been a yeah.
Celtics, Bruins, and Red Sox.
So you're not one of these guys who sees a player and just becomes a LeBron and a Cavs fan.
That is what I would call a fair weather fan.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sandberg.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. How about some of your favorite pro athletes? Yeah, who kind of comes to mind? Because you've seen some great ones in the time you've been alive. Yeah.
Bird, McHale, Parrish.
So you were watching those guys back then in the 80s, yeah.
Oh yeah, religiously.
Yeah.
Religiously.
You like this young team we got right now? You like Tatum and Brown and all these guys? Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that the two bigger, contract guys are sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And seeing these younger guys get their time and where they are.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's the ultimate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel like development-wise, they jumped like 3 or 4 years. Like they're going to be ready to roll next year when these guys come back.
Yeah.
But I feel like in terms of football, like we don't have football up here, but we have some football fans. Were you always like a diehard Patriots fan, or did you just start paying more attention to them when they got good? Are you a fair weather Patriots fan, or?
Actually, when I was younger, I started. I was a Dolphins fan.
Oh.
And I know I'm going to hear some boos out there, but didn't take me long to jump ship.
Yeah. So you're a huge Tom Brady fan, I'm guessing. All these guys, Belichick, all those guys. Mm-hmm. That's your squad right there. Yeah. And the Red Sox, I'm guessing from day one, no questions asked. You got a Red Sox hat on right now. It's got everything right there. Bruins, right, Patriots, Red Sox, everything right on there. Have you ever been to Fenway? You ever been to a game?
Yeah, several times actually.
Yeah.
I do medical appointments in Boston.
Yeah.
So anytime I can. If it's in the summer, it's Red Sox. It's in the winter, it's Celtics.
Right.
But I don't get to go to many Celtics games. But if I go in the summer and it works out, I try and go to a Red Sox game.
Fenway is pretty special, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like we were talking about the auditorium and just walking in there. Like Fenway's a cathedral as well, right?
I'd love to see them. For them to upgrade.
Yeah. Would
be awesome. But I love the fact that they're keeping the old feel of Fenway Park.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the manual scoreboard and the green monster.
Yeah, just keeping some elements to give it that classic feel.
Yeah.
You ever catch any incredible performances or see anybody in their prime at a Red Sox game? Like you see Pedro pitch or anything like that?
I saw Pedro pitch a 2-hitter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any you go to any playoff games? You ever catch any of those? Or
No. Because like I said, just when I was there, if it worked out. But during playoff time, it's like, don't even ask.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last Red Sox game I went to, and this is a funny story. One of my cousins was getting married in just outside of Cape Cod. And when I found out when the wedding was, it's like, shit, I'm going to go right by there. I got to at least try.
Yeah.
I called the ticket office, and the lady I spoke with, I kid you not, said, like she was laughing. Do you know who they're playing? I said, no. At that point, I didn't know if they were in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing the Yankees. So it's like, well, okay, I tried, but, I'm talking to a buddy of mine that works construction down in the Boston area. He says, oh, my company has 4 seats. How many tickets do you want?
Oh.
So I said, seriously? He said, yeah, how many tickets do you want? I said, at least 2, if not 3. Okay. The day we're leaving, we're in Wallagrass, which is 10 miles away, if that.
Yeah.
My phone rings. It's that guy. So I'm thinking, oh, God, what's wrong? What's going on with the tickets? He says that it's a day-night doubleheader. My vendor has 4 tickets in your name, but he wants 2 tickets back. So he's going to give you the choice of which game you want.
Yep.
So I said, where are the day seats? He said, Skybox.
Ooh.
I said, where do you want to meet to switch? So he got to sit in Skybox for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I probably had better seats than the announcers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
If I ever go to a game and get seats like that, I'd probably pay, I don't even want to know how much.
It's probably better not to think about it. It might hurt your head.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Was it a good game?
Oh, it was a very good game.
Yeah.
Of course, the Red Sox lost.
Yeah.
But
That's all right for
Yeah.
Skybox seats. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. It's the experience that counts. All right. Let's get to Ethan's got one more question here. Last round of Ethan asks big time questions.
So how demoralizing was it when LeBron beat the Celtics in 5 last year? The Celtics got 1 game, right? I couldn't remember if they got swept or not. I'm pretty sure they got 1 game, but how demoralizing was that? And how shitty is it going to feel when it happens again this year?
wow, he just cuts his chase, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not holding back.
Yeah.
You have a response to that, or you're not even going to entertain that?
I just, for me, I consider LeBron and the Yankees on the same category.
Yeah.
It just doesn't it's not unheard of in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Tom's brother Sam.
Oh yeah.
I just can't handle that. I see him walking in with a LeBron's jersey. It's like, oh my God, you poor human being.
Great question, Ethan. Great question.
I hope Sam doesn't send me any negative telephone calls later. But
I wouldn't worry about Sam.
I'm not worried
You're
about
all set. Don't worry about it.
No,
Is there anything you want to see before you die at this point, sports-wise? Because you've seen the Red Sox win, you've seen the Celtics win a championship, Bruins have won a Stanley Cup recently, the Patriots obviously have done
honestly,
their thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it all.
Yeah.
But I really haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's just
I think we've been spoiled as New England sports fans recently. I think we've seen it all. I don't know what else there is to see.
Right.
How about as a Fort Kent sports fan? Is there anything you want to see? We won a state championship in soccer, or we got 2, right? 2 state championships.
I believe Fort Kent was the only school, or in the county anyway, to get both boys and girls in the same year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been done in the state, the same boys and girls in the same year.
Right. So is there anything you'd like to see as a Fort Kent sports fan? It could be the high school or college. Is there anything you want to see? Because once again, you've seen national championships at the college with soccer.
Yeah.
And then state championships at the high school level. You pretty satisfied, or you okay with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
He's good
Yeah,
with that.
but no, it's honestly, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just
You're out there for the love of it.
yeah.
And if you win state championships, that's a bonus. We'll take it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so this is the part of the episode where we get serious, James. All right, so this segment is called "When You Die, What Jersey Do You Want to Be Buried In?" So, what is your favorite role? It could be your time in Little League, playing basketball, one of your gigs as a scorekeeper. What do you want to go to the grave with and be buried in as your jersey?
Probably a Warriors jersey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to rep that Warriors green right there?
Oh yeah, I'm always Warriors green.
Yeah.
I'm Warriors green. Warriors green and Bengal green are very,
Yeah.
very close together.
Can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to go with the Warriors. Okay, good choice. That's what I'd go with too. All right, so we're going to get to our second segment, sponsored by the great folks at Rock's Family Diner, the official sponsor of Charlito Wonders on Big Time. Charles stepped it up. Charles normally only has one question for this segment. He has two for you. So he's pretty excited. So let's get to Charlito's question here on Charlito Wonders.
James Harvey, what up, man? It's Charles. When I think of Fort Kent Athletics, I think of James Harvey, man. You're present at all the games. You're just a legend. I'm just wondering, what is more gratifying to you? Jumping out in your Sea-Doo, cruising around on the open waters, or strolling into Rock's Family Diner, having a hot dog and one of their world-class poutines? What do you prefer, my dude? Hope all is well. Take care, buddy.
Between Rocks and the Sea-Doo, that's a pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're equally known for both of those right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Real quick, when did you get the Sea-Doo? When did you?
I bought my Sea-Doo in '97.
And you still have it, or are you all done? Did you give it up?
Oh, I still have
You
it.
still have it?
Yeah.
You still take it out on the?
I'd like to take it out more.
Yeah.
But because of my back issues,
Yeah.
It's probably not the best thing to do. But
And what's your go-to meal at Rocks? When you go to Rocks, what do you get?
I really don't have one. Just whatever's, whatever the stomach calls for.
Yeah, would you say it's the best poutine in town though, right there? Or,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by far, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's our official sponsor, Rock's Family Diner. Thank you to them for sponsoring the segment. All right, since we have an icon, Charlie has two questions for our icon because it's such a big deal. So round 2 of Charlito Wonders here on Big Time.
Yo, Harv, I got one more question for you, man. Better basketball referee, myself, Ronnie Gee, Bob Thibodeau. When the game's on the line, who do you think is calling that stuff the way it should be called?
Definitely, without a doubt, Charlito.
All right. There you go, Charles for the win. Great question. We should do an episode where we just get a bunch of referees. We'll get Uncle Bob and Ronnie, all these guys, Charles, and just have we'll get this big conference room, Harv, and we'll just get them all in a room and get them all in the episode. Harvey, any parting things you want to say? You want to say anything before we get up out of here?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to get on here and speak.
Yeah.
And
Are you gonna kind of spread it around and tell
Yeah.
everyone to check out the show?
absolutely.
Have you listened to just Lon's episode?
Yeah.
That's the only one you've listened to?
No, I've listened to a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Lonnie and Woogie.
Yeah.
And, those guys and a few others. But
Yeah. All right.
those are the ones that stick out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, make sure you spread the word.
I will.
Get us some more. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a huge episode, so
right.
spread the word a little bit
All
and
right.
get us some more fans. Thanks to Harvey for coming through again. That's it for this week's episode. Remember to check them out on iTunes and YouTube. They're all up there. Go check them out. That's it for Big Time. We'll see you.